Hi, guys. Welcome, welcome. Hi, Betty and Mary and Laura. I know Thelma's out there. I know that Annette's out there. I know that Alice is out there. Who else is out there? Honey, can you roll that back for me? Annette, Laura, Alice, Thelma, Mary, Betty Gozzle. Hi, Betty. Oh, again, Alice. Laura. Hi, Laura. And I think that's everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We are going to have great fun today. We are going to do something that is so fun, so easy, so satisfying. You just will not believe how fun it is. Whoa! Almost overfilled my pop while I was chatting. How you guys doing? You doing great? This is just going to be a fun day. We are going to have so much fun rolling flowers and dragonflies and okay. How many people have your kits or have your own kit and are going to be working along today? Hello, Kim. Oh, Kim, you're just going to have so much fun. You're not going to believe how fun this is. Before we get started here, I have a couple things I want to share. Teddy got a couple more birthday cards. I showed this one once before, but it just calls for being shown again. When I showed it last time, I didn't point out. Oops, go ahead and go in my hands if you would. There it is. I did not point out. Come in closer, please. That Teddy actually has a fabric collar and a little dog bone tag. How cute is that? I just love this card. It's so cute. And it was to Teddy from Laura Hernandez. Hoping Teddy gets lots of treats and snuggles for his birthday. You can pretty much count on it. Here's one from Annette and Oliver. And this is the card. How cute is she? And it says, this story is by Oliver, transcribed by Nama. Hello, Teddy. My name is Trixie. I think you're a very handsome boy. I'm hoping we can be friends. Let me tell you a little about me. I'm a Shih Tzu. I love cuddles and playing with my sister, a 2-year-old Siamese cat. My mom gives me lots of love and treats. I have a blue blanket to sleep on with mom and dad. Happy birthday, Teddy. Best wishes from Trixie. Story was told by Oliver Howard and written by Anna. So darn cute. And here we go. This card is by Mitzi and Stretch the Cat. And I believe that means that this would be Roberta. Just chicken in. We went to see my mom the other day, and my sister has chickens that roam freely. And Teddy was so intrigued with the chickens. We didn't take him off lead because we didn't want to know what he would do. So it says to say happy birthday to Teddy from Mitzi. So Mitzi and Stretch the Cat. So Teddy has 3 birthday cards now. Okay, let's see. I want to show you what's in the kit for today. If you're wondering about my box, they gave me this box to begin with, and I discovered that I had too much stuff for this box when I had my own stuff added to it. So they'd already written Deb's kit on it. I stole a bigger box and crossed it out and wrote your kit. So if you get this one, you'll know. I traded a deeper box for a thinner box. Yes, they already put my name on it. I just want to show you what you're going to get in this kit. It is so rich, you won't believe it. $24.95. You get 100 brown strips in various colors. You get 100 green strips. You get 100 yellow and orange strips. You get 100 pink and burgundy strips and red. You get 100 purples and lavenders. You get 100 blue tone strips. You get a slotted quilling tool. You get an empty glue bottle. You get a Nouveau tape runner. I put this in because Margie says that when she's quilling, it's one of the few times she actually enjoys having a tape runner because she can get the tape on there without having to deal with getting her glue bottle uncapped and everything. This also has a curling guide. This is called a curling coach. It has a quilling needle, which is like a pokey tool, could be used for dual duty. You get a sheet of rhinestones. I thought these are wonderful for flower centers. You get a wheel of pens. You get, I love this board, you get a dual purpose board. This board on one side is a guide and a measuring tool. On this side, it's a cork board that you can use for freehand quilling. You're getting a whole packet, a bunch of die cut strips, quilling strips for flowers. I added these just for fun. I had a bunch of them and I thought, oh, I'm just going to put those in just for a little value added in your kits. Your kit came with this pair of scissors, which is actually quite sharp, but I didn't think that was quite precise enough for quilling. I like to have scissors I can get right in there with, so I actually added a pair of these embroidery scissors to go in your kit. I know a lot of you already have them because I put them in a prior kit. Let's see, maybe our dot and do, but it'd be great to just leave these in your quilling kit. You got 2 packets of beadies, which are like prills, except these are made of glass, and you can use those in your flower centers. You got a flower guide, just to remind you about how to lay out some of your flowers. You got the materials to make the 2 cards we're going to make today. You have 2 A6s, 2 envelopes, 2 sheets of background paper. You got the paper for the ocean scene. I just found the tweezers in there. You get a pair of tweezers and you get a little happy birthday sticker. I actually gave you 2 of these holographics just for fun. I had quite a stack of them, so I just tossed in 2 for fun. Well, I thought you might like to make 2 of those cards. So you get all of this for $24.95. I think it's a great value. It's a lot of good stuff. And it will all fit in your Deb/you box just fine. I just had a whole bunch of extra stuff. Okay, here we go. So you have plenty of room in your box for the materials that we're providing. I just stole the bigger box. So if you happen to get the Your kit, yours is personalized with my little happy face. Okay, I'm going to bring my own box back in here and let's go ahead and get started. Who's working with me today? Can anybody give me a 1 who's working along today? I hope some of you are. I know some of you might not have your kits yet. This is a really great class for working along if you are working along. Oh, good. Laura's working along and Brenda's working along. Excellent. Excellent, excellent. I'm going to make a mess here and kind of pull out all my materials I'm going to be using. We're going to start with some very basic techniques here. I'm going to work off of the assumption that you've never done this before. For those of you who have done this before, forgive the repetition, but I want to make sure everybody's comfortable with what we're doing. So I'm going to start by getting out my coaching board. I love this thing. This is great. Okay. All right. Well, you can always join us later. Oh, good. Good, good, Glenn. I'm glad that you're working along also. You don't have to buy your kit from me. If you have it already, you're great. If you don't have it, I've got a great deal for you. But if you do have it, that is terrific. We're going to start by rolling some tight coils. Let's start with some flowers. I think that we will use some of these. Why not bright pink? Let's use some bright pink. Actually, let's go ahead and use some that we're going to want for our carts next week. I'm going to get out some of these rose-colored ones.
Say hi to Betty McSorley.
Hi, Betty McSorley. Welcome, friend. And I'm going to go ahead and pull out a few of these little strips because we're going to need a few of these just to make our flowers. And this color, this is the, if you're using our pack, it's the second color in. There's a real deep burgundy, and then there's a red. I'm pulling the red, and I'm pulling several strips out. We're going to start by making the little tight coiled flowers. And I'm going to stick this back in this envelope just for the time being. Keep it nice for as long as possible. I always end up with a tangle of quilling strips after a while because that's me. Okay, what I want you to do first is take one of these red strips, fold it in half, and then I want you to tear the strip in half. Just tear it. Here's the first tip about quilling. You actually want torn edges rather than cut edges most of the time in quilling. And the reason for that is that when we go to glue the ends down, they'll glue better as a torn strip than they do. You'll get a tighter fit when you roll it off a torn strip than you will off of a cut strip. So tip number one, tear your papers. Tip number two, we're going to get our little curling coach out here. And this little tool has a slot in the end of it. If you have one that's pointed at the end, that's the wrong one. That's our quilling needle. You want the quilling slotted tool. And you have one in your kit. You want to fit that paper into the little slot. It will become easier as you use this tool. And once we have that paper into the slot, we're just going to start turning that quilling tool. And you want to try, it doesn't have to be perfect because we can push it back together, but you kind of want to try to keep that coil pretty straight. Don't get all weirded out about this. If it goes a little off, that's fine. We can I can kind of consider it stacking it. I can kind of restack it when I'm done. I'm going to put just a little glue. Can you come in a little closer, honey? Thank you. I had to wear this shirt today because it looked like quilling. I think you could almost make this whole pattern in my shirt with quilling. Okay, I'm going to put just a little tiny drop of glue on the end. I would start with the cut end, on your, because that would put your cut end in the middle, and I want my torn end at the end of my strip. So that's the only way in which it matters which end of the strip you start with. If one is cut and the other is torn, start with the cut end to have it end up in the middle. Once I've done that, I can pull my little coil off, and if necessary, I can take the two edges of it and kind of push it together to get a nice, tight little coil. And there I am. Let's do it again, because we're going to need several of these little coils. So I'm going to start with my cut end. That's a very good question, Alice. They actually say that you'll be happier with the way your designs look if you wind them the same direction all the time. So if you can just get used to kind kind of winding one direction, you can kind of get that uniformity in your quilling. I've rolled up strip number 2, putting a tiny strip of dab of glue there. Whoops. Okay, mine just unwound. I'm not going to get all weirded about that. I'm just going to open it back up. I'm going to open it back up. I let it get away from me when I was gluing it. That happens sometimes. After a while, we're going to do that on purpose. But right now, we're trying to do tight coils. So I'm going to put my end back in my slot, and I'm just going to wind it up again. And I'm going to end up with a nice, tight little coil. And that glued end that I had was still tacky from being glued. I'm taking my 2 fingers and kind of pushing my stack so that I get this nice, uniform, tight little coil. And I'm going to put that over with my, trying to see where you can see it on camera. I'll put it over here with my other. I'm going to tear this in half. Less is more with the glue. Yeah, you don't have to use a lot of glue. I'm going to start it on the cut end. I'm putting it in my little slot, and away I go. Yeah, if you always start with your cut end, then you don't have to worry about going in and tearing off the end of your strip. If you always want to make sure you have a torn edge, you could always tear both ends if you wanted to. That seems like a waste of effort to me, though, because I can just start with the cut end and never have to worry about it. Okay, got another one. Let's just keep going here. If you're not going as fast as me, don't worry about that. I'm going to make a total of 6 of these little dudes, because you can always go back later and you can always pick up, if we move on with a flower, just set those pieces aside and you can come back later and finish those. But right now these are considered tight coils. So if you're following a pattern, when they say tight coils, what we're doing right here is exactly what they mean. Sometimes your coils will be made with a full strip, and sometimes your coils will be made with a half strip.
Say hi to Elsie.
Hi, Elsie. Welcome. I just did it again. I let my coil go when I was putting my glue on. I don't get weirded out about it, guys. I just go back and rewind. It's good to see you, Elsie. I still have your card here. I'm bad. I'm bad. But it is your card, and you will eventually get it. You'll just be so surprised when it shows up. One of your goals is not to let your glue show too much on your strips. So if you get glue on your fingers, keep a damp cloth or a baby wipe handy to just kind of wipe it off your fingers, because you don't want your glue to show. We have 2 more to go. And we'll have enough for our first flower. Then we're going to make a center for our flower. So we'll roll 1 more tight coil. I'm putting my cut end in the slot. It does get easier to find the slot as you go, doesn't it? You don't have to see it. If you have problems with your vision, don't get weirded out about this, because you don't have to see it. You'll get used to actually sliding that paper into the slot, and you don't have to. It's not like threading a needle. It's way easier than that to find the slot with your paper. Oh, nice. That Eurovision sounds pretty fun. I've seen some publicity on Eurovision as it related to one of the Ukrainian singers. I'm working on my sixth one. If you're not as fast as me, don't worry about it. This should be like really Zen activity. This is perfect because you're going to have a homework assignment this week to get ready for putting our flowers on our cards next week. This is going to be a great activity for sitting and watching TV or listening to a podcast or watching Eurovision. It is really almost mindless activity, which is great because I think we all need that sometimes. And then if you can get the creative part in there too, that's just even better. I'm going to go to my yellow pack and I'm going to get a yellow center for my flower. And I'll just take one of these from the outside. It's kind of a true yellow color. I'm going to tear it in half because that's the size little, you could almost call these beads. They are like little beads because they have a hole in the center, a small hole where quilling tool was, and then the tight little quilled piece of paper around it. And I'm going to make a tight coil. And I'm going to put a little dab of glue on that too. And I will have 7 pieces in total. I'll have 6 pieces to go around the edge. There really isn't a right or wrong side to this paper, Brenda. That's a great question, but I've never noticed there being a right and wrong side to it. Okay, so I have my little yellow, and I have my 6 little beads. I'm going to take my yellow, and I'm going to run a line of glue around my yellow. I could do this by putting leaving the yellow alone and putting a dot of glue on each of my reds. But now I'm just going to slide my red coils right up against that yellow that I've just put on there. Oops. Might not have enough glue. I might have to add a little glue. Oh, it's sticking now. It doesn't take a lot of glue to hold these, guys. Just sliding my little reds together around that yellow one. And we have just made the most adorable little flower. There we go. Okay, let's set that aside. And we're going to make one similar to that, but just a tad different. So this time, go ahead and let's make the flower center first. We'll use this piece we had left. I'll start with my cut end. And I'm going to go ahead and roll this. But before you glue it, I want you to see something. Have this board out in front of you, or a quilling guide of some sort for those who are using a different kit. You may be comfortable eyeballing it if you're more experienced, and that's okay too. But I'm going to roll up my strip, but I'm not going to glue it yet. I'm going to take it off my tool, and I'm going to drop this on our board. We have 3 rows of circles. I'm going to put this in one of the little 10s, and I'm just going to drop that flower center right in there. Yes, the flower center, I'm using a half strip For all the ones we've made so far, I used a half strip. And I'm going to use a half strip this time. So I'm going to get another one of my red strips just because I happen to still have red strips out. I'm going to tear it in half. It doesn't matter if it's exact, guys. It doesn't matter. Nothing we're doing here requires rocket science. It is so easy. It looks difficult, but it's just not. It's not difficult. And you get such fun, satisfactory results. I'm winding that red strip on. And I'm going to do the same thing I did with the yellow. This time, instead of putting glue on it, I'm going to drop it in one of the number 10 cavities. I will still take my two fingers and kind of pinch it to make my coil all nice and straight. And then I'm just going to put it right there in my number 10. Okay, let's go ahead and make some more. The only criticism I have about this board is I wish they would have given me just a few more cavities, enough to make a full flower before I have to take them out. But I think the board is really actually quite well engineered. I'll show you some of the features of it as we go. I think the board is really well engineered. So I wrapped another red. I did not glue it. I'm going to put it in the number 10 cavity. I'm going to do these two more because I have two more strips here. Oops. I'm going to use my cut end on the inside. Now it's not, nothing about this is precise, guys. If you find that you wound it and you have the cut end on the end, don't rewind it for that. It's not that important. It's a good habit to get into, to put your cut end on the outside or your torn edge on the outside, but it's not essential. Into the little number 10 cavity. I'm going to want at least 5, if not 6, petals for my flower. You should be finding it a little easier to wind them now. Can those of you who are working along, when you have a second, give me a 1 or 2? Are we going at about the right pace? Do you need me to slow down? Give me a 1 or a 2. 1 is it's just right. 2 is I could either use some more explanation or slow it down a little. Okay, Laura's finding it okay. Give me a 1 or 2 when you have a chance, guys. Thank you, Mary R. Okay, I'll put my little end in. I'm still using half strips at this point. Oh, W. What's a W mean, Brenda? 2. Okay, you could stand it if I'd slow down just a little. That's cool. Thank you for letting me know. There's actually one more number 10 cavity down here. So I'm going to put that there. I'm going to give these guys a second to catch up. While I do that, Oh, it's below the 2. Okay. While I'm waiting, I'm going to show you a cheat tool. Lauren came in the other day and saw me using this, and she started yelling, "Cheater, McCheat Cheat! Cheater, cheater, cheater!" This is a battery-powered winding tool. It works exactly the same way. It works exactly the same way as our paper has a little crease in it, so it doesn't wind properly. Let's tear that little end off. It works exactly the same way that my little manual winder works, except that it does all the winding for me. That is, when I don't get it all cattywampus like I just did. So I'm going to wind it again because I don't get all weirded out about stuff. Putting my end in. Some people think these are easier. Some people actually find it to be harder to use the winders. It's a matter of personal preference. I find sometimes I don't think the winder winds them as tight as I would like. We do have these available in the store. If you want one, they're $12.95. You guys know I have a. You think they're a pain? Yeah, I kind of think. Sometimes I think it's a pain. Sometimes I think it's okay. I just kind of vacillate back and forth between the two. So while I was doing that, I actually made another coil. Doesn't have a home yet, so I'm going to stick it in my number 8 cavity over here, just because I don't have a 10 available for it yet. And I'm going to move forward now. Let's go ahead and move forward. I'm going to get my quilling needle out of my kit. That's this one. And you got this long pokey tool here. What I'm going to do with that pokey tool is I'm going to reach into the bottom of this little cavity, and I'm going to pull out this circle. Come in a little closer, please. I'm going to pull out this little circle that has become a little bit looser. See there? Because of the size of the cavity, it's a little bit looser. This time, I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to put my glue right on the edge of that.
You're off camera.
Am I off camera? I had you come in closer, and then I just wanted to show them what the coil looked like. And here it is. This time it's not a tight coil. It's a looser coil, isn't it? This time we're going to build our flowers out of this looser coil. So one at a time, I'm going to reach in, and I'm having you use your needle tool. This is another way this board is really well engineered. They have a little slot between cavities, which allows you to just reach right under and get those little coils out. All you're going to do, guys, is pull those out and glue them now. So we're just going to pull them out of that little number 10 slot. I'm reaching in from the side with my tool. If you're left-handed, just come in from the left. And I'm pulling my little coils out. And I'm putting a little glue on the end. And we're doing the same thing as before. We're just making a little looser coil this time. There we go. I'm coming in from the side. I'm picking it up. And I'm putting a little bit of glue on it. So you can see why I say this board is well engineered and well thought out. There's my looser coil. I'm just going to make the same flower this time I made last time. I'm simply using a loose coil instead of a tight coil this time, just to give you a variation. Hi, Donna. Welcome. Good to see you. Welcome, friend. I always like to have new chatters visit us. Okay. There we go. All right, I'm going to take this little number 8 and I'm going to put it in a 10 and let that kind of unwind a little bit. Sometimes when I tap them, I find they unwind better. I'm going to put this little 10. I know I'm ahead of you guys who are winding along with me. I'm going to go ahead and put the flower together, and then we will yes, condolences to Roberta and her husband on the loss of her father-in-law.
Donna is Sharma's sister.
Oh, hi, Sharma's sister. I didn't know that. That's cool. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We love Sharma, so I'm sure we love you too. Okay.
You say hi to Roberta.
I did.
She snuck in later.
I'm putting my flower together by just putting some glue around on my yellow, pushing my coils together. I'm going to put 6 little pieces around my center, and I have the same flower, just a little larger, still made with half pieces though. Hi, Megan. Welcome. Thank you, Donna. It's nice to have you with us. There we go. So this is what our little flower looks like when it's done with loose coils. Isn't that pretty? Looks like it was harder to do than that, doesn't it? Let's change colors. I'm feeling a need for a change of colors. Let's use some pink. I want you to pull off. Don't panic, guys. If you're not done with that flower, just set the pieces aside for now. Go ahead and glue them, then set those aside. You don't need to assemble yet. And let's work on another flower. I'm just going to continue my half piece trend for right now. I'm going to take these pinks and I'm going to tear them in half. And if you're not with me yet, because you're still winding, just set those papers aside once you get to a point where you can glue them. Set those papers aside and let's work on our next one. I'm going to use my little tool. I think I said I have the winders in the store. You guys know that I have a strong preference for using branded merchandise wherever possible. I'm always suspicious of the Chinese and whether they're stealing the ideas for some of the products or sometimes actually stealing the outright design. So I don't like to use unbranded products, but I will tell you I have 6 of the auto winders, these tools. Mine's an Anna Griffin because Margie gave me this for my birthday one year. But I have 6 Quilled Creations winders. I'm putting this in the number 10 again. I have 6 of them in the store. I have not been able to source any others. So if you want one, get it soon, okay? Because I only have 6. I'm winding up my pink. I'm using half sheets or half strips. See, mine is uneven when I wind it too, but I just take my 2 fingers and I push it together. And then I'm going to drop it right in that number 12 cavity.
Can you move your board so we can see the cavities?
Yes. Thank you for reminding. I'm moving in close so you guys can see what I'm doing, but it's really, really easy to end up off camera. So thank you for the reminders. I think I can help you with a measuring tool, Thelma. Yeah, I'm sure I can help you. I'm sure I can help you. Let's talk about it. I'm positive I can. I can steal one out of another kit or something. I love this board though. This is a really well designed board. And it's an off brand, so there you go. But it is really well engineered. I'm going to continue winding until I have 6 petals.
Hi to Betty also.
Yeah, I said hi earlier to Betty.
Okay. I haven't seen her name in a while.
Okay. So I'm putting these in the little number 12 cavities. I'm going to keep working here until I have 6. Oops. It's not going to do me a lot of good to try and use that one, although I have seen people wind down those. Okay, I have 5 now. I'm going to do one more. How are my workers doing out there? Can you give me a 1 or a 2? Don't get frustrated. If when we change flowers, just change designs, then you can go back and finish those later. Okay? Laura says okay. Don't let me get you frustrated. That's what I care the most about. Okay. And I'm going to put my last one down here in the number 12. All right. We're going to do something different this time. I'm going to wait just a second because I can see that my other 2 work-alongs are not responding. So I want to give them just a minute to finish up. While they're doing that, I'm going to get another yellow strip out. So I'm going to need another flower center. I'm just taking one off the edge. Oh, I tore the end off that one. I'm going to take a couple yellow strips off. I'm going to use lots of flower centers along the line. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and tear this one in half. Did you guys know that you can actually make beads out of quilling? Or not beads, jewelry out of quilling? I've seen some jewelry done that was spectacular out of quilling. Okay. I'm just about ready to start working on my pink petals. I'm going to make this flower center the yellow. I'm going to make it tight. So it's going to be a tight coil in the center of this flower. For those of you who are working along, what you've seen so far is the basis of virtually all quilling. It's making coils and then manipulating those coils in different ways. This is going to be the first time we pinch one of our coils. So look up if you're working along. I want you to see what I'm doing here. I've got a little bit of glue on the end of my coil. I'm wrapping it down like I normally do. This is, I just want a small, center to this flower. So it's not actually making a bud. I will show you how to make a bud though. Okay, I'm going to take that coil I just took off and glued, and I'm going to pinch one side of it. Now, when I pinch it, I want you to see this. When I pinch it, I'm kind of letting that circle part slide down a little bit into the other end. See that? Can you see that, what I'm talking about? The little circle has all gone to the other end of this coil. There we go. That's a perfect shot, honey. Shows how bad my manicure is, but it's a perfect shot. So what we end up with is something that looks like a little teardrop. Let me set it on the table so you can see that. There we go. So this time, as I take them out, I'm going to get my coil out of the number 12. I'm going to glue the end. And I like to grasp it right where I glued it, you know, like the glued part. The glued part is on the bottom as I pinch it. And I pinch it so that I give it an opportunity to kind of slide up as I pinch that petal. And I have two of those pinched petals. It's just like before, exactly like before, except I'm going to pinch just the end. Okay, so I'm creating a little teardrop out of it. And as I do that, because I'm kind of pinching it slowly, all of this just kind of revolves up here to the other end. It's just prettier if it's not squished flat. So I'm taking this out of you notice I'm not using my tool. I actually find it fairly easy to just take these out of the cavities. But I wanted to show you can use a tool to do it with the way they're designed. I glue it and pinch it kind of almost in one motion. They're really quick and easy to do. See all those little petals I'm getting there? I'm getting it out. I'm gluing it. I'm pinching it. There we go. Let's do another. Putting a little glue on the end. Pinching it. And I get that little. Okay, how are you guys doing? Okay, I'm going to put my glue around my center. All the way around it. Clean the glue off my fingers. Good. Glenn and Laura are doing okay. Brenda, you doing all right? Now when I make these flowers, I put a little bit of glue on the end of the petals too. because it can kind of help hold them together because they don't have a lot to hang on with on that end, right? Because they're pointed on the end. Oh, thank you for mentioning that, Roberta. The Graphic 45 kit is up. You will not believe what I'm doing for you. The kit that we're using, the Elegance kit, is now retired. You pretty much can't get any Elegance material anymore. And you are getting a 12 by 12 pack of paper, bigger pack this time, a 12 by 12 pack of paper, and you are getting a sheet of chipboard. It should sell for $27, and I've got it for $19.99. How's that for taking care of my friends? Retired product. Now you can kind of squish these points a little bit towards the bead because the little points don't want to stick in very well, but you can kind of squish them in there. And a little bit of glue between the, you can see I probably could have used 7 petals here if I wanted to. Yes, that is a good point. The 12 by 12 pack also has stickers. So you get stickers, 12 by 12 papers. This is not the cheapy kit. This is the $21 kit. The 12 by 12 papers is the $21 pack. And you get your chipboard. $27 value, and you're getting it for $19.95. Woohoo! It's in new listings. Yes, it is. Okay. This time, I'm not going to pick this up quite yet because my glue is still tacking. But you can see we've created a, maybe I can get it now. But this time we have created a flower with little pointier petals. And you begin to get that kind of classic quilling design, the wound around paper look in our beads, in our petals. Yes, it's in live stream classes. That is where you will find it. I only have 17 of those. Hurry. They will not last. I also have out there, will you hand me, where did we put it though? The foiled paper packs you guys were asking about. The 8x8 foiled paper packs that Annette was asking about last week from the butterfly kits are out there. There are 9 of them. Get those too. Yes, this flower does look more lacy. That's kind of the nature of the petals. Brenda, how you doing? If you're still working on that one, let's put that one away for a minute. Let's just go ahead and slide that one away. You know how it's going to go together, and you can finish that up later.
Okay.
I haven't heard. Oh, Brenda says okay, good. Okay. Let's take a look at what we've done so far. We've done a tight coil, and we did it on all of the petals. You get this really petite, pretty little flower. You can also use this coil technique to make berry bunches, and like you can give the illusion of a partial flower by just showing part of those. we did the same flower. Oops, I just knocked off a petal. That'll happen sometimes till we secure them to our paper. I'm just going to put a little bit of glue back on that petal I just knocked off. That's the hazard of handling them here. Can't find where it was glued. I guess I didn't have enough glue if I can't see where the glue was. I'm just going to secure that right back in. And now we've done this little frillier flower. Okay. All right. That's 3 flower designs we've done so far. Let's do another one. This time, we're not going to go through the exercise of putting all the petals in place this time. I'm just going to show you a couple techniques for just making different flower petals. I'm going to go ahead and take this half strip I already have here, and I'm going to roll this. Go ahead and roll a new one, guys. Just roll a half strip. Remember, we can always finish this later. Right now, I just want to get you through a lot of techniques in a short period of time. So I'm going to, oops, I didn't want to glue that yet. That was silly of me. I want to put it in my cavity.
Cavity's off screen.
My cavity's off screen, Ray says. There we go. I'm going to put it in my cavity. Let it get a little bit bigger. Now I'm going to take it out. Now I'm going to put some glue on it. I'm going to pinch it like I did last time, but then I'm going to pinch it on the other side, and I'm going to make a marquee. Come in close, please. Let's see if we can get it cleared, the screen cleared up. There we go. I pinch one side, then I pinch the other side, and I end up with something that maybe looks a bit like an eye. I want to push that, if at all possible, push that circle back to the center, the inside, and only the outside couple layers are going to end up getting squished. Can you see that? So I'm pinching first one side, then I pinch the other side. And now I have that marquee. Let's do that one more time so everybody gets comfortable with what we're doing. I'm just going to wind my strip. I'm going to put it in a little cavity, and I'm going to let it unwind just a bit. I'm going to pick it up out of that cavity. And I'm going to add a little glue. I'm going to pinch first one side. I'm going to let that side go. And then I'm going to pinch the other side, which is going to force that circle back to the middle. And I have my marquee. These make beautiful flowers. Get kind of more like a, I don't know, maybe a daisy. Well, not even a daisy. Maybe a daisy sort of petal. Okay, so that's the marquee. Let's roll a whole strip this time. Let's go to purple. Let's go to purple. Purple is underrepresented in my samples, so that just cannot be. I'm going to take actually 5 strips of purple off the outside. 5 strips of purple. I'm going to wind the whole strip this time. Make sure I've just got one there. I'm going to tear one end because I don't have any torn edges on the full strip, do I? I'll wind from the other end. And I'm going to wind this whole strip. It's a lot bigger, isn't it? It's a lot bigger this time. I'm going to put it in that next cavity up. I'm going to put it in the 15.
Camera.
Second row down. I'm putting it in the 15. We're going to make 4 of these. Let me show you another technique. Let's make 4 of them. You make most of your basic shapes in quilling by starting with just a regular coil and pinching it in different places. I thought I had 5 of these. I guess I just got 4, but that's okay. I'm going to make 4 of these. Can you see why this would be a lot of fun to do while you're just watching TV and stuff? To be getting these ready. Yeah, those foiled papers are out there. The 8x8 foiled papers that we used in the hummingbird cards are out there. You can get 2 cards by backing those papers or trimming your USA 6 or A2 card down just a bit. You can get 2 cards out of one sheet of that 8x8. So you can make that go a long ways. Be really pretty to put like some silver mirror board behind those foiled toppers. Then you could, if you put mirror board behind it, you would easily get 2 cards out of each sheet. Save those scraps because you can use those for when you're making, you're taking little toppers and making them bigger. Okay, I have 4 full-size coils in my number 15s. Good question. It's under Kanban. Try Kanban, Annette. Can I do something with my computer? My screen has a little screen with blue surface and bubbles around it. Yes. It's under settings.
Like, that's us.
Oh, I see. Never mind. Never mind. I thought you were saying on your computer you had that. Okay. Never mind. All right. Open coil. A little bigger this time. Now, I want you to pinch one corner lightly, pinch the other corner, make a marquee, but we're not done yet. Turn it, pinch one corner, the other corner. I've just created a square with a circle in the center of it. You see my square?
Yep.
I'm pinching 4 sides to make a square. I'm going to take the next one out. I'm going to put a little dab of glue at the end. I'm going to pinch that lightly. I'm going to pinch the other side, create a marquee, turn that a quarter turn. I'm going to pinch, and I have a nice little square. I'll put that right next to my other one. Let's see if I can get these where you can see them. Okay, so I have 2 squares. Now I'm going to take my third one. I'm going to put a little dab of glue on it. I'm going to pinch one side lightly, pinch the other side lightly. I'm going to turn it 90 degrees, and I'm going to pinch the other 2 sides. I have my third square. My squares should all be the same size because I'm using my guide here. They are all going to be number 15s. Take my last coil out, glue the tip. I'm going to squeeze it on one side, squeeze it on the other. The square's woolly. This is not something you have to do this week. This is just something I wanted to show you. So if you are feeling behind and want to skip this for now, you can come back and look at it later. I have my 4 squares. Whoops, all under Debbie. There we go. Thank you, honey, for moving that. I'm going to take another of my blue strips. My purple strips, not blue.
She meant wobbly.
Huh?
She meant wobbly, not woolly.
Oh, wobbly. It does look a little bit like a sheep, though. It looks like sheep's wool. Okay, now I want you to take one of those squares, and I want you to put a little line of glue down 2 sides of it, actually. We could put glue, yeah, just 2 sides of it. I'm going to take the opposite corner, and I'm going to put glue down 2 sides of it. You see what I'm doing here? I'm pushing my squares together to make a bigger square. Okay? Oh, can you get that? They're having troubles finding that pad. It's look up Kanban. Now I'm going to take and I'm going to put glue down 2 sides of my square. I've got my piece of paper here that my strip all ready to go. Starting at the corner, I'm going to wrap this. I'll kind of bend it at that corner. I'm wrapping this with another piece to hold this all together pretty. I'm going to show you something that you'd spend.
What's it called?
Kanban. Well, there's not that many Kanban. You can go down through the list.
The live stream one?
No. It's the foiled papers. Hi, Stephanie. Now you have a choice at this point. You can stop at the corner since we have this all wrapped. Sometimes it's kind of fun, by the way, to do this wrap in a contrasting color. It can kind of add character. Or if I want this to be a little bit more solid, I can just keep wrapping a strip around until I use up the whole strip. This would cost you, if you bought this, $2.99 maybe. We're going to put a little bow on it. It's going to be a gift box.
It's not coming up under Kanban. What else?
Go under foiled papers. Go into foiled papers under paper.
Under product types?
Yeah. And specialty papers foiled. See if you find it there. Should be the last one in.
Specialty materials.
Yeah. No. Paper.
I have a specialty paper.
Well, then just go under paper. As necessary, kind of pinch off your corners to keep them nice and square.
A big foiled metallic paper.
Yes.
And sophisticated boutique.
That's the
foiled
one.
ones.
That's the one we're looking for. I just kept going here, winding around until I reached the end of my paper. I now have my gift box. Let's put a little coordinating ribbon on it. I'm going to take, I have this yellow sheet I had here. And I'm going to take my half sheet and I'm going to break it in half again. In other words, I want 2 little tiny coils. And I'm going to glue the ends of these. What I'm doing now is making my bow. I'm going to I'm making my next little coil. How am I doing in time?
3:14.
I'm doing all right. I'm going to glue the end of this. I'm putting 2 of those up here on top of my box. Now I'm going to take this next yellow strip I have here. I'm folding it in half. I'm not tearing it yet because I might want to use that other for something else. I'm taking 1/4 of that strip and I'm going to tear that off. 1/4 of a piece. I'm going to take this 1/4 piece and I'm going to fold it in half. And I'm going to tear that in half. 1/8 of a piece, just this much, which says to you don't throw away your little pieces of quilling strips, doesn't it? Because there's times you'll want to use them. I'm taking my tool, I'm wrapping that. I'm kind of letting it loose. I'm letting it loose. And then I'm kind of folding it back just a bit to kind of create a curly end. Can you see that? This is our first coil, guys. And now I'm going to make another one just like it. I'm going to put this on my tool. I'm going to wrap it around. I'm going to kind of let it go. I let it fold. I let it kind of uncoil, and then I just kind of took the end and kind of folded back. Yes, that's exactly what you're doing, Annette. Okay. I'm going to take these little pieces that I just made. I'm going to put some glue on the end of this. I'm going to put some glue on the end of this piece I just made. I may decide I want to unwrap these coils a little bit more. That's okay if I decide to do that. So they just kind of come out from my package. I took my finger and kind of fluffed them just a little bit. So I kind of have little curly ends sticking up. I'm going to take those two little coils I made and put them in the middle. I just looked at my pattern and I did this upside down. I want these to go over the edge down a little bit. So instead of sticking up, I want them to stick down. So I'm just taking those off. And putting these two little bow pieces back up on top. I think it needs a little bit more bow character up here. I'm gonna make one more, 1/3 one. I'm gonna make a third piece to go up on top. So I'm using a little quarter strip again. And glue that. And put a third piece up on top here. This is the first time I've ever made a gift box, by the way. I'm going to take 2 more strips here. These are quarter strips. I'm going to make 2 more little tight coils. I'm going to glue the end. I just decided that since my gift box is actually fairly good size, my bow needed to be a little bigger than I made it to begin with. So I'm going to stack these on top to make my bow bigger. Next, we're going to make the dragonfly, guys. That's up next, dragonfly. It's the next thing we're going to do. You guys are thinking, oh no, that's scary. Nope, it's not. We're going to take a look at the dragonfly before we start making it. So you can see there, I like that now. There we go. There's my gift box. If I wanted to, I don't really have to have these coils hanging down. I could actually cut a whale tail in those tails, and I think that'd look really cute. I'm going to try it. Maybe I'm not. Maybe I'll just cut them at an angle like I would ribbon. You can either have your tails hanging down. I like that better, actually. There we go. There's my little gift box. Yes, I can make a heart. If you guys don't mind if I take just a moment to make a heart before we work on our dragonfly. Let's make a heart. Let's get a big piece of red or pink. It doesn't matter. Red? Oh. Bryce said it definitely needed to be red. Well, okay then. We'll get it red. Let's roll it all the way. A full piece. Laura, nice to see you, friend. We'll see you on the rewind. Okay, this time I want to take this whole big red one. I'm going to put it clear up here at 20. I'm going to let that unwind a bit. Clear up on top. Okay? And if I wanted my heart to be even more full, I could attach 2 ends and just keep rolling. This would be fine. All right, I've taken that out of my sizer. I'm putting a little glue on the end. I'm going to pinch the bottom as if I was making a teardrop, which makes a perfectly beautiful teardrop, by the way, so you can tell how big of flowers you can make. Isn't that beautiful? But now after I've pinched the middle, I'm going to come in to the center here, and might be good to use your quilling needle for this. Push it down in the center and pull both sides back up. Push it down in the center. And I got mine a little pointy there. I take my tool and round that out a little bit again, because I really kind of want this to be almost creased in the middle. There we go. I'm liking the way this is starting to look. So push it after you make your teardrop. Use your needle tool, push it down in the center, and then pull your others up. And if necessary, you can round these out a bit again then.
Did you use a full or a half strip for your heart?
I used a full strip, but if I wanted a smaller heart, I could make it with a half strip. And there's my heart.
Could you put it on the white corner of your board?
Yes.
You can see it better.
There's my heart. Okay.
Could you have made 2 teardrops and glued them together and made a heart?
Yes, you could absolutely. Bryce just asked me a great question. Can I use 2 teardrops and glue them together to make a heart? And you absolutely can do that. In fact, let's do it. This time I'm doing pink, Bryce, just so we can show contrast between the two. And I think just for interest, we'll use a half sheet. So let's use a half strip.
A half for each size?
Yeah, half for each side. I tried to tear it with my thing. It didn't work. Okay. You will notice that some of these papers are dramatically different weights. This is much lighter weight paper, this pink, than the red we just worked on off the same pack. It's interesting. You'll get a little better quality control from US made materials. I recommend Krill Creations or Lake City Quilling for US supplies. These are Chinese. Okay, I'm going to take this and I'm going to put it in a 10. Now, do I want a 10? I'm going to put it in a 15. Uh-oh. This will be easier than what I just showed you, actually. Stop it. But you can do it both ways. I've seen it done both ways. In fact, the directions I had here right next to me says pinch it in the bottom, push it down in the top, and round it out. But this will be the easier way. Let's put these. We're going to have 2 pieces at 15. That one's just not wanting to unwind. Every once in a while you get that. You have to kind of help it unwind a little bit. There we go. Now I got 2 15s. This is going to be a little looser pattern. I'm going to wrap this around. I'm going to pinch it at the end. I'm going to take my other one out. I'm going to pinch it at the end. Somebody guess how you would make a triangle while we're doing this. How would you make a triangle? You pinch it on 3 sides, right? This is beautiful, by the way. I like this one better. Look here, I like this one even better. Oops, here's our 2 hearts. I like Bryce's version better. Look at that, isn't it pretty? Beautiful. There you go. 2 versions of a heart. Let's get on to a dragonfly. I just want to remind you what we've done so far. We've done tight coils, we've done loose coils, we've done teardrops, we've done marquees for flower petals, we've done hearts, we've done a gift box, so we've done squares. We're doing great. Okay, I have my pattern written down for my dragonfly. I'm going to make this dragonfly next. I want you to notice something. When you think this is going to be hard, I want you to notice the component pieces of the dragonfly. We have small coils. We have an in-between size coil. We have large coils, all tight. So it's just a matter of how long we make the pieces, right? And then we have folded over pieces. We can do this. You can do this. Let's make this dragonfly. Let's get some colors out here first. I need you to get into your pack and get out a piece of light green. I'm taking the one from the inside of the pack. So I'm going to take this one, light green. Okay. I'm going to get into my blue pack. And I'm going to get out a piece of light blue. I'm going to actually need a couple of those. Light blue. I think I'll take the one that is here. I actually could have taken the green out of this, which is just almost identically the same color. Didn't remember that. Get a couple pieces of light blue. Now we're going to go to our lavender, go to our purples pack, and get a nice piece of lavender. I think we'll use the middle one. Everybody with me? Okay. Here we go. So we want, these are for the wings. Lavender, blue, and green. Isn't that going to be beautiful? Next, we want some purple. And we're going to need 2 full strips for the big coils. We're going to need 3 half strips. And we're going to need a 3/4 strip. So I think if my math is right, we need 4 strips of purple for our dragonfly. You can see one of these packs of quilling papers is going to go a long ways. And you have 600 sheets in your kit. But there will come a time you'll need to supplement. I recommend papers from Quilled Creations or Lake City Crafts. I do have a few colors in the store. If you guys find that you like them, I will stock them for you. I just need to know they're going to sell before I bring in another product line. So you need to tell me you want them. And if you do, I will get them for you. I'm starting with one of my purples and I am winding the entire strip in a tight coil. I don't need to use my sizing board for this because we're just gluing the ends. Let's make a second one for the body. Boy, if I had access to somebody with cutting equipment, I'd be asking them to make mine too. Okay, we're rolling it in a tight roll. Mary R., wasn't it you that I said you really can do quilling? Wasn't it you I made the guarantee to? Yeah? You think you can do quilling, Mary R.?
Her kit's on its way. She hasn't gotten it yet.
What's that?
Her kit is on the way. She hasn't gotten her kit yet.
Based on observing, do you think that you can do this? Okay, I'm going to tear off. This doesn't have to be. Separate your colors when you get them. Ah, good idea. Oh, he makes all your card blanks? Ooh. Is that what he does professionally? As he's a printer? Or okay. I'm going to take about, I'm going to say 4 inches off of this next piece. Okay. And now I'm going to roll this next piece. Roll, roll, roll. Here we go. Just rolling it up. You know what? If one messes up, Mary, you just put it back on your tool and you roll it again. You know, that's the thing. This is not that difficult. I'm curious, Brenda, because if that's what he does for a living, I might want to talk to him. I'm looking for a new source for my card blanks. Or if he has a recommendation where I should look, I'd also be interested in that. So if you wouldn't mind asking him, that would be cool. Okay, we're going to do 3 half strips using our purple. So I got one too few strips out, didn't I? See? Okay, I'm going to get one more purple off because I'm short one half. And I'm going to roll these 3 pieces. And then I'm going to wait and see if everybody is still with me. So now I have 3 sizes of coils, don't I? I have 2 wrapped with full strips. I have 1 wrapped with 3/4 of a strip by taking 4 inches off the end. Now I'm going to wrap my second half strip. Oh, I just let it go. So now I will be re-rolling it. I have to tell you guys that if postage keeps going up, eventually I'm going to have to change my postage too. Because I have budgeted the postage is 15% of the amount of orders. And when I closed the books, we were at 18. And I was already fretting about that because that was a lot over our budget. And then if they raise it again, I may have to increase the threshold for, I still will give you a free shipping threshold, but I might have to increase the threshold for free shipping so that it helps to kind of counterbalance the increase in costs. So I'll have to take a look at that because I was already thinking, man, I'm absorbing more than I'm supposed to. And if they go up again, one of the things people don't always realize is that when postage stamps go up by a cent or two, boxes, priority boxes can go up by $1 or more. It's crazy. You don't always see it. What looks sometimes like little increases are ginormous to us. So we may have to increase the free shipping threshold. I don't want anybody to get upset with me when I do, but you gotta operate in the black. That is what happens sometimes. Okay, look there. I have a body for my dragonfly. Look how easy that is. Look how easy that is. Okay, next. Wait a minute. I need some ones or twos. Give me some ones or twos. Maybe I'll show you some of my cards from my upcoming class as well. My winders out there have a chance to get this far. Can I see how everybody's doing? Ones or twos? Alice, Glenn, Laura.
Laura's gone.
Laura's gone, okay. Yeah, I might have to check FedEx. US Post Office used to be the cheapest for everything, but they keep going up and up and up. I'll check DHL and FedEx and UPS. And I don't like FedEx much, to tell you the truth. FedEx and I have gone around and around about our international shipments. Okay. I'm going to find a ruler here. Okay. I want you to tear 2 pieces of light green that are 2 inches. Tear a second one that's 2 inches. Actually, I want you to tear 4 of them. A third strip that's 2 inches. Forgot we had 2 dragonfly wings on each side. And a fourth strip that's 2 inches. How's that? Okay? 2 inches. All right. We're going to put a little dot of glue on the inside of these. Just like that. I am not going to pinch it tight. I'm just going to fold it over and I'm going to create that little loop. Okay? All right. Our boxes historically have shipped the cheapest through USPS because of the flat rate, but that may not be the case anymore. Most of our boxes are not terribly heavy, although some of them are.
Speak for yourself.
What, Bryce says, speak for myself. I'm not the one who carries the boxes to the post office. We care about making sure our mail gets out every day, And when we've had USPS pick up our mail, they've been sporadic at best about showing up, and then I'm late shipping after we've done all the work to get it out the same day or next day. So we actually deliver all your boxes to the post office every night to make sure they get out in the best time possible.
You have a mouse in your pocket?
Bryce says, "Do I have a mouse in my pocket?" Because I never go to the post office. He always does. Okay. I want you to get your light blue strip, and I want you to tear 4 pieces that are 2.5 inches. 4 2.5 inch pieces. Once again, you can see saving those little strips is a good idea. We're going to take this 2.5 inch piece. We're going to put glue on both ends. He really is a good one, isn't he? So when your boxes get to you so quickly, it really is a team effort. Ashley's down there every day. Ashley and Baby. Baby comes with her, and he has one of those little buggies he rolls around in. He has his long aisles in the warehouse that he can just run back and forth and back and forth. Okay, you saw what I did there. I'm wrapping that blue around the green and just attaching the end, just the very end. So let's do that. I can glue it on here, or I can glue it on the blue strip, it doesn't matter. How are my work along people doing? How are my workers? Okay, I want the blue to go right to the bottom of the green. Just wrap that around there. How easy is this, huh? I was showing some of my quilling to Laura, and she said, "I can't possibly do that." But she really loved the dragonfly when I made it. So she said, "I really, really like that." And I said, "You want to make one?" And she said, "I don't think I can." And I said, "I think you can. Do you want to make one? I'll walk you through it." She said, "Yes, I want to make one." So I walked her through step by step, and she coiled up all the little purple ones, and she not cut, but tore her little pieces for these wings. She assembled it, and she said that was really easy. But I love it. She really loved her dragonfly card she made. This is our first component for one of our 2 cards for the day. Okay, next we need 3-inch pieces. You're going to make blue again. So we're going to do 3-inch pieces. And get one more little piece off of this one. I'm going to get 3 more 3-inch strips here. It's nice just to be able to tear these, huh? If you guys decide you like this, I have some ideas for you that'll knock your socks off. Okay, here we go. Wrapping the blue around the last blue one. Yes, it goes blue, blue, then lavender. These seem to be really realistic colors for the dragonfly wings. I know that some of our wholesale suppliers who have shipped for free in the past are not shipping free anymore. Two of them that have shipped free in the past are no longer shipping free. So that's sad. And it's the same problem. Prices go up and up and up. And oh, I just got notified of that by one of them. And then one of the same ones is now charging me for making payments with a credit card. I can do a bank debit or I can do a debit card, but they're charging me 3% fee if I pay for my orders with a credit card. Prices go up and up. Okay, let's do this. We're going to take two of our wings. I want you to put like a 1-inch stripe of glue down one of your two pieces and just join your two wings. Just like that. I do. You know, when I was a kid, I really vacillated between going to school for accounting, business management, or teaching. And in my career, I have ended up doing all three. Okay, I've got wings. Now let's start to assemble our dragonfly. I want the wings to touch each other, but I don't necessarily.
Just a little bit.
I can see
You're
it on the
behind
screen.
Teddy.
Okay, I want my wings to touch each other. I'm going to put just a little bit of glue right on the ends. I want my wings to touch each other, but I don't really want to overlap them. I don't want to create a big heavy spot there. And I'm going to put some glue on one of my biggest coils, and that goes at the top. And we've got his head. I'm going to take my next big coil. I'm going to put a little bit of glue, just enough to really connect the wings, and I'm going to overlap where those wings are coming together, of course. So I've got one big one on either side of the wings. Next, I'm going to add my medium-sized one, which was made with 3/4 of a strip. I'm not making the glue quite as long on this one. I'm lining that up against my big one. So now I've got large wings, large, medium. Now I'm going to attach the first part of my tail. The second part of my tail. Oh, dropped it. You can see why tweezers can be a great idea. Depending on how long your nails are, you may need to use tweezers for a lot of this. The third part of my tail. I want you to do something kind of weird. I want you to bend that a little bit. Did you ever notice dragonfly bodies tend to be bent?
Ask if they could add glitter to the wings. Or
Oh, of course you could. Of course you could. You can put stickles, glitter, whatever. Looky here, guys. How beautiful is that? Look how easy we did that. Keep those dimensions. If you want me to, I could, I guess I could repeat them here. The colors that I use, now you don't have to use these colors, but they'd be a good reference point. Your light green, the smallest piece is 2 inches long. Make 4 of those. Your next piece is light blue. Make 4 of them 2.5 inches. Your next piece is light blue, and we're making 3-inch pieces. Your next piece is lavender, and you're making 4 of them that are 3.5 inches long. Our coils, we're making 2 coils with full strips, 3 coils with half strips, and 1 coil that has a 3/4 inch strip. I tore 4 inches off of it. Light blue, and then you're doing lavender at 3.5. Oh, you got it. Then your coils are 2 full, 3 half, and 1 3/4. That's our butterfly.
2 half and 1 3/4.
No, 3 halves. 2 full, 3 halves, and 1 3/4. Here. Okay, let's make our first card because we pretty much are ready to do that. And I'm going to run out of time if I don't watch myself, because I could do this all day, and I just want to make sure that I'm giving you everything you need. So where did my background? Oh, there's my background. Okay. All right. Get your A6 card blank out. I don't even know what this card's going to look like yet, by the way. I haven't made it. I know it's going to be a combination of the butterfly that we just made and some of the flowers we've been making. I'll be showing you while we do this how to do, you already know how to do the leaves, you just haven't called them leaves yet. And we're going to do add some flowers to this. So we really already learned what we need to learn to do this. Only thing I need to continue to share with you is how to make the stems, the kind of curly stems. So first we're going to cover our card using this pink paper that I provided. Why? Because it was handy. And it was pretty too. It was pretty. How many viewers do we have today?
18.
Welcome to those of you who are out there who are not signed in and chatting. I know there's some of you out there. Welcome, welcome. You're always welcome to join us in chat. But if for any reason you don't want to do that, you're always welcome to watch and participate. I don't know if you can do this. You probably, yeah, you could. You could do this while we're still on. You could put a link to this kit in the comment section below if you would. Why?
I don't know how to do it.
All you have to do. That's how I roll. That's so cute, Charm. I'll help you. Look at. Oh, beautiful. Okay. Let's see. We already have some flowers done. I know we'll use this one, and we'll use this one, because why not? We might even use this one, because Also, why not? We can have different kinds of flowers. We'll just use different color leaves. Okay. Okay, let's see. I've already made a few leaves ahead. This is the same technique, obviously, that we used for our marquees. There's a leaf. So I have this leaf. I also have these little leaves, which are really cute. They're just the little teardrops. I made these using the 12. I made these using the 15. This is made, I believe, using a full strip. These are made using half strips. Good night, Elsie. I also have some dark green leaves here. So we could pull some of those in. The next thing that I need to show you is how to make some of the pretty curlies. The curlies are beautiful with our creations. So I'm going to show you that next, I think. So I have a bunch of leaves. I'm just going to pull a bunch of them out while I am at it. We've already learned these. We have marquees and we have teardrops. How do we get those? We get a teardrop by rolling and just pinching just the end. We get a marquee by rolling and pinching both sides gently, because we want to force that circle in the center from both sides, because it looks pretty when we do that. I want to show you what I did with the teardrops. This is really a fun technique for using when you're combining, making your flowers on your cards. I took just a piece of quilling paper. If you have trouble managing that, you can actually double this quilling paper if you want to by putting glue in the center and doubling up that paper to make a stronger stem. It's up to you. In this case, I took 2 of my little teardrop leaves, and now I'm just going to make a stem of leaves to come up. These can be so pretty and delicate to add to your flowers. I'm going to add another. I can put them as close or as far apart as I want to. Whatever fits my design and my creative eye the best. Whatever you want to do. Oops, that's the wrong color. Okay, I think that's enough of those. So I've got my little stem coming up, and I think I will put this flower with my stem, because why not? Now what I can do, it does look like maybe my stem is, I could have benefited, I think, from having a little piece going up into my flower. So I'm just going to add a piece here. I'm going to take just a little piece of this And I'm going to create a stem to attach my flower. So I'm just going to add glue to both sides of that little stem. And then what that's going to allow me to do is put my flower on straight. So I'm going to put some glue on both sides of this flower petal right here. And now I have a beautiful stand-up flower. Okay, I want to get a piece of my dark green. That's my other leaves here, dark green. And we want to talk about the little curlies, the little curlicues. This is another good place you're going to use all those little leftover pieces, is in making some of this kind of stuff. I really like the way these look on here. Okay, I'm going to start, and I just usually start with a full piece and then break it where I want. Okay. I'm going to roll this, but I'm not pulling it super tight. I'm just kind of rolling it on there so that I can get a little curly going. And then sometimes I actually take my tool and kind of loosen it a little bit. I'm going to tear it off. I'm going to create another one. And I'm rolling it, but I'm not rolling it real tight. Taking my quilling tool and kind of just letting it roll around till I like the shape. A lot of times I will put a little kink in my stem to get to kind of fold it back and get my curlicue situated in a way I like. So see what I've got here? I've just got two of those little ends. I'm going to put a little dab of glue here. I'm going to offset that just a tad. And I've got the beginnings of my curlicue going. Next up, I'm going to curl another one. Another piece. And I'm just going to build these vines, guys. That's actually really thick at the end from the glue. I'm tearing that off. Okay. I'm just building these vines a piece at a time. There's no real rule for how you do this. You just do it in a way that your eye finds pleasing. So I can pull them out further. I can pull them back further. I do want to add some little leaves and things along in here. So I can just do that as I go. So I might decide that I think this is a good place to add a leaf. It's a green leaf. I think all of these are going to be greener than my stem, aren't they? I think they're a little, these go better with this one. The two different brands of paper I was using. Okay, so I guess I'm going to have to make a little leaf. I'm going to tear that off. I'm going to put that in my smaller number 10 mold sizer. I'll bring it back, put a little dab of glue on it. I'm going to pinch it right at the end. I have a leaf. Let's just say, for the sake of argument, that I'm going to use marquee leaves on this. Just because I have two different kinds of flowers, they probably should have different kinds of leaves. So I've taken my teardrop and made it into a marquee by pinching the other side. You guys feeling comfortable with these little curlies? I find it easier to make my vines in small pieces and add them together, if that little tip helps you. I really like to do that. I still have this little piece here. I'm going to go ahead and wind on, just loosely wind this. Yeah, I like my stash box too, Sharma. It's just a good place to save all the little bits and pieces, and you know, as long as you're making something, make a few extra. Look how pretty that's turning out, guys. I'm going to put this little piece I just wound on the end of that by just putting a little glue there. I do put enough to kind of help my curly hold its shape. See there? That's looking pretty. I'm going to move this temporarily so I can see what I'm doing with these. Now, a lot of times with these, I like to kind of put the flowers right into the design. I did promise I was going to show you guys how to do a bud too. I will do that. But I'm going to just start putting my design together here. Going to need some more leaves and some more windies here. And I'm going to need a piece of our red to make a bud. So, see what Sharma said about they all kind of go wanky on you if you don't separate out your colors. I think that was a very good piece of advice, Sharma, because pretty soon they're going every which direction. So separating your colors makes some sense.
Say good night to Betty.
Good night, Betty. How are we doing on time?
We're at 4:10.
4:10. Okay. All right. I'm going to add to my little curly here. I think I'll just put some length on it to start with. See, there's no rules here. I can just add a piece of stem to that, so easy. So I can keep working my curlies around. So I just added a piece of stem to it. Okay, so I've added a little stem piece. Now let's get another little curly going over there. And again, I'm winding it. I'm just not winding it real tight. But I do think I'd like this piece to be just a little bigger. Sometimes you have to kind of unroll them a little bit by hand, and that's okay. This place where I joined them, that's going to be another good spot for a leaf. So I think I may put a leaf either, maybe even on both sides of that. I'm going to put a stem coming off of my prior stem coming into this, I think. This is just all creative. There is no specific rhyme or reason to how you do this. Just curl these curls and have them go in opposite directions. then bend them to fit the spaces that you want them to go in. So I'm going to put this one in here. I will show you how to make a bud, because when you're arranging these, buds can be very helpful to getting the, like that, to getting the design just the way you want it. Or I could put that flower right there. That flower's not bad either. And I could put this flower right here. I may not have room for both of my flowers. Now that I look at it, I think I'm going to use this darker one though. Okay, let's get a flower bud. I'm going to get a piece of my red that I used to make those flowers. I don't need a long one. That's not the right one. Needed the one next to it. I'm looking at this and thinking I may have overestimated what we can finish today. So we may continue with Quilling Class 1 into next week, which will get you time to get your Quilling Class 2 there and get your homework done. So I'm kind of thinking we might want to do that, and then we'll do the undersea card next week. Okay. I have taken a piece of my red. I have wound it on. I didn't use my sizer because I'm not having to match this up with anything. I'm just going to make a little coil. It doesn't have to be sized the same thing as anything else, so I might as well just pull it off and do it by hand instead of using my sizer. I'm going to make a little teardrop out of that. Okay, just make a little teardrop. Now take a little piece of your green and just come up either side. Come up both sides of that bud. So I'm going to come up here. I'm going to put a little piece of green here. Just a ways up on that red, as if the bud is still opening. The second side I'm not going to tear off. I'm going to let stay long for now. And this is how I make my bud. Just like that. And they do look like buds for these. In fact, I think I'll put my bud in right about here. See how I take those and just fit them into my curly design? I'm going to put that bud right about there. Maybe not quite so far in, but I'm going to put it on that stem right between those two pieces because I like the way it looks there. So now I have, I didn't let it dry long enough before I moved it. There we go. So now I have my bud there between the two. I've got this going. I've got this going. So I have 3 nice flowers already. I'm going to make some little leaves here to go with this. So let's go ahead and get a couple more of these marquee leaves made. I want to show you the cards again for next week in case you're thinking, oh, I don't know if I can do all that. I want to show them to you again now that we have, well, they're actually not the cards for next week now. I just said a minute ago we're moving that out a week. So, okay. I'm going to put this in my little sizer. It's a half sheet, so I'm going to go to that size 12, 10. It's 10, I guess. Size 10 there. And I'm just going to make myself a couple little leaves here. And let's see, let's make another leaf. Okay. Right. Let's take those out of the sizer. Glue one end. And I have small marquee leaves. We're going to do it again. Squeeze one side, squeeze the other side, let that circle kind of go to the middle. And I have another marquee. Only 4 of which kits left? These quilling kits? Is that what you're talking about, Mary? Or which ones? Are we talking about the okay. I think I'll change my pattern a little bit here. Maybe put that red flower there. Let's put the bigger flower up here on top. Liking the way that looks. This red flower, though, needs some leaves on the inside of it. So I'm going to glue this little leaf right here on the inside of that. Oh, I like that. Okay. Let's add a leaf here. I'm sorry for your loss, Stephanie, but boy, did she have a good long run, didn't she? 102, that's a good long run. My great-grandmother was 105. No, 104, and her sister died at 105. I'm going to put another little leaf here on the inside of this stem work here. I'm just filling any little gaps with leaves and curls. Does this part make sense to you guys? What we're doing here? Does this all make sense? You know, as I keep moving this around, there's no telling where it's going to end up when I'm done. I'm going to make another little stem piece coming off of here. And I think I'll actually bring that right on down off of the page then. And I'm going to kind of turn this. And, you know, it's just playing with it, guys. Don't let yourself get stressed out. When you get stressed out, your creative juices leave you. But when you are just letting it flow and having fun with it, it you can create beautiful things. Just let the juices flow. Okay, so I'm going to bring this stem on down and off the page. Yeah, it's just kind of like making joints. You are right. Because I want it to be frilly and lacy, you know? So I'm just adding these little curlies anywhere I think those curlies would be to create the soft kind of whimsical feel that I'm looking for.
Teddy.
Oh, Teddy's in here.
Well, he will be if he comes here. Teddy, come on. Sir.
Okay, Ted. Come here. Come here. Oh, he wants to say hi. Okay, let me move this a little bit. It doesn't ruin my work. Come here. Hi. Hi. There he is. There he is. He just came right over to me. He said, I want to be here. I want to see my friends. Hey, look at Daddy. Look at Dad. Hi. Hi. Oh, yeah, he says I work for treats. That is true. He went to the vet this week for his every 6 month checkup, and she said he is the picture of perfection. He is just the right weight. Everything about him is perfect. But Mama knew that going in, didn't I? I knew that going in. You don't get to go to sleep here, though. If you go to sleep here, Mama can't show people how to finish their cards, which I need to do because we don't have a lot of time left. Okay. Say, good to see you guys. He's ready for a nap. Go see Daddy. Go see Daddy. Where Daddy? Where Daddy?
Daddy.
Go see Dad.
Daddy.
Okay.
Sir.
All right. There's no Rocky playing. I turned my ringer off.
Come on.
Okay.
Daddy. Go.
Okay.
Outside.
Let's bring this
Well, you have
down.
to sit in the lap. You can't walk around.
Let me go ahead and cut this off.
Come here.
I think it should be.
Come here. Come on.
I think we need a couple curlies underneath these flowers.
Sit up here.
You're welcome, there you are. Okay, let's put some little curlies underneath here. Then we'll start gluing this down. I don't have them out here, Mary. I know, that's puppy abuse. But I don't have his treats out here. His daddy just gave him a piece of popcorn, which he declined. He said, that's not a dog treat. That's not what I want.
Getting spoiled.
Getting spoiled?
Spoiled.
Yes, he is. Okay, we'll put this little curly right down here. I think obviously now I need one out on the other side. Now, one of the other things you can do here that can look really, really good, I want to show it to you on my sample card. We're going to need to wrap this up before long because I know you guys are getting tired of listening to me drone on. But I do want to show you something else that could look really good on your sample, on your card. Ooh, that looks cool. Okay, let's glue that on. I'm giving it a nice long glue strip there. Yeah, I'm liking the way this looks. There is another little trick that you can use. Did I not do it on this one? Yeah, well, on this one, you can see in places, I just made little trios of berries. Sometimes I like to do that and just use the little green nubbins, like you have a leaf that's trying to bud out. So you can just do a little, maybe I should just do one or two. Let's just do a couple of little tight circles and put around on our stem or anywhere we think we need just like one more element. Thank you, Mary, for reminding people to hit the like button. If you like what we do and you want to see more, please do hit the like button. It makes me feel good and it tells YouTube that we're a good place to refer people. And unless a friend referred you, you probably found us when YouTube suggested that we might be a channel you would like. So see, you can just put those little tight curls in here and there to just make interesting little additions. I could do it in my flower color, or I can do it in my leaf color. I think it's time to glue down. So I'm going to take this big piece here, and I'm going to add some bits of glue to the back. Not a lot. I don't want a bunch of big globbies of glue showing, but I do have to have enough to anchor everything good. I like to anchor any of the curlies. I like to anchor the leaves, the buds, the flowers. But I want to put at least a little bit on these curlies too. Now, one channel I was watching recommended, and I thought this was really good, she recommended having a paintbrush handy to spread the glue anywhere the glue needed to be spread. I thought that was a good idea. I'm not using very much, so I'm not going to do that today, but I do think that's a really good idea. There are some really good quilling channels here on YouTube, I gotta say. I have enjoyed watching them. If you guys decide that you want to learn more quilling, I have so many fun ideas to share with you. So many fun things. Let me pull this down just a little bit. I'm going to tack those in place where I just glued them. And put this flower in here. As if our dragonfly is headed up to that. I'm going to put this little flower in here, maybe a little higher here. If I wanted to put a sentiment on my card, that upper corner would be a beautiful place to do that. I think we should just about call this done. I'm going to put, this needs just a dab of glue under it. My curly's loose. There we go. I'm going to put one more little curly right here at the bottom. It doesn't need a real long one, but it does need something right there. So and as I said, sometimes I like to actually unwind these a bit. And sometimes I unwind them and I go, oh, I did too much, and I roll it again. That's the beautiful thing about quilling. You're not going to ruin anything. You just keep working it till you like what you get. And you can use every little shred of your papers and things. What kind of questions do you guys have for me today? I will show you, since we're doing our fish class next week, I promise to show you some bonus things too. Maybe some baby feet and some other little bonus things you can use on your cards next week. Because I thank you for your patience. Sometimes things just take a while. We still have our fish cards to do. I haven't shown you anything yet about how to use those pre-cut papers in your kit. We need to go over that a little bit. I will show you a few flowers I made using those. Since I'm not under pressure now to get the fish card done by the end of the day, we have a little time. I think we're calling it done, guys. What do you think? I need a little more glue up here. A little glue under there. Get those to lay down right. We'll do some more. I'll have some special add-ons for you since we're going to run a week long. Is that fun? So, Brenda, let me ask you a question. I won't put you on the spot, but do you feel ready to do this with it, just on your own time, with just taking your time and playing and putting your flowers together, your leaves, your little curlies? Do you feel like you're ready to try it?
Very excited, looking forward to the next class.
Okay. Let's set this aside. I do like it a lot, by the way. I think it turned out really fun. So we've learned buds, we've learned tight flowers, we've learned loose flowers, we've learned pinched off flowers where we did our pointed flowers here. We also made some marquee petals to try those kind of flowers. We made hearts. I love our hearts. I especially really, really love this. Really love that heart. And we learned our box. I probably didn't have to do the box today, but it was a fun use of figuring out how to use the squares. Isn't that just cute? Let's all get out. We did some swirls. I'll teach you some more elaborate swirls as we go. So we've done some good stuff, I think. And we'll save these flowers for our assembly. Now you have a homework assignment. You can start now if you have your kit. If you don't have your kit yet, when your kit comes in, go ahead and start watching rewatch this video and make some of these kinds of flowers. Make some of these kinds of flowers. You can make some little stems of like ferns. You can make up a bunch of extra leaves. We went 2 weeks from now when we do our add-on cards with the Cardabella. You are going to want a lot of flowers. Now, I want to remind you why we're adding the flowers to those. The verses on these cards are really, really nice. Happiness blooms from within. This one says, And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. They're beautiful, but they need embellishment. So let's take a look at how many of these things you've already learned to do. We didn't assemble one like this, but we know how to do this, right? You know how to do the curlies. You know how to do the marquees. I've just assembled these marquees and put a gem in the center. Easy peasy, right? Look at this one. Here's the fern. I put a few berries on it. And down here, I just added a berry and a couple extra leaves because I thought it needed a little balance. This is my poinsettia. We didn't do these kinds of leaves yet, but I bet you know how. I just took a teardrop and then I shoved in two sides to kind of make it look more like a poinsettia leaf. I just kind of pinched the ends. So you know how to do a poinsettia. Here's our tight coiled flower. These, I took tight coiled flowers and little pieces of flower to emulate the flower on the design. So we definitely know how to do those. We did not look at this one yet today, but I bet you know how to do it. We did do the buds. Let's look at this flower. What did we do? We did a coil, and then we turned it into a triangle by pinching 3 corners. And then I made flowers out of the triangles. See that? Yes. I just love the way these cards, these quilled cards, make these sayings look. I hope you have a lovely day. And look how beautiful that looks with the quilled flowers on it. The good life. I emulated the little flower here by making just little tight quilled ones in slightly different colors. Here's another one of those where I've made the triangles and made a flower out of it. Okay, you know how to do these. You are ready. You are ready. I'm not going to go through all of them because there are a lot. You will have enough paper. I'm sending you 10 A6 cards, one 5x7, one 6x6, so 12 card blanks and 12 envelopes in the Cardabella kit, as well as the chipboard pieces, which have beautiful sayings on them, and the beautiful papers. You get this whole packet of papers, guys. I just wanted to see how many cards I could get, so I made it all up. These are all double-sided papers. I made up the whole thing, and I got 17 cards. You have enough materials for 12, but these are absolutely beautiful papers. And one of these has, yeah, here. I used these as toppers too. So you get this whole kit for, plus the heavy duty cards and the envelopes. You get enough materials to make 12 cards, and then we'll decorate them using the quilling techniques we've learned today and next week. What kind of questions do you guys have for me? How about you guys working along? Did you guys have questions? This kit's well worth getting, by the way, guys. There's way more than... Oh, the quilling pieces definitely punch them up because these are pretty, but they're a little blah. And when we get done with them, they're going to be fabulous. Okay. This kit is up on the site right now. Do not delay. I only have 17 of them. I underestimated the popularity of this following our last kit, and I only ordered 18, one of which I used to make my samples. There's only 17 of these kits available. You get the 12 by 12 deluxe paper pack that has lots of papers and then 2 sheets of 6 by 12 stickers. You get the chipboard piece. It should cost $27 and it's on the site for $19.99 right now. I'm not sending it as a full kit. I'm sending it as a use your stash kit, which means you're going to use your own cards and envelopes, your own pearls, ribbon. You guys have as much of the stuff as I do. I know you do. I see what you buy. So I'm going to give you some design ideas and I'll make more cards in class when we do this. This is going to push out just a little bit because we'll have an extra quilling class. But get your kits now. These will not last at $19.95. They just won't. They're just so very popular. So get your kits for this class now. It's just the paper pack with the stickers and a chipboard. You'll use your own cards, your own ribbons, your own pearls, your own accents. You know, you guys all have Mary, most of you. So I'm just going to give you some design ideas to use with that. Mary R says, what other brands, designs would you add these quilling creations to? Everything. I was going to put some roses on these. These aren't done yet. I want to put some flowers on them. I think I'm going to quill on one of them and put handmade roses on the other. Yes, you actually can do that, Brenda. Purchase this and pick up in Tigard and finish your free postage in a day or two is absolutely fine. As long as your total order comes to $69, we'll still ship it free. So it's fine to go ahead and do it in pieces. I don't mind that at all. My only request when you do that is that don't leave them sitting down there too long, or we have partial orders everywhere and Ashley has to work around it. So I have put a limit. You can't shop off of one box for more than a month. That's pretty reasonable. So you absolutely can do that. I did put up a new Brits bargain last night. We've sold quite a lot of these already, by the way. These beautiful, beautiful 6x6 foiled pastel plaids, foiled on one side, plaids on the other. Beautiful. 6x6 pads should sell for $7.99. They're $4. I've got the orchard die out there. Should sell for $11. I think it's $5.99. You get 6 different leaves on there. What else did I put out there? Did I put this one out there? It's not there? You sure? Okay. All right. And last night, we got a die special that they were offering from Find It Trading with 2 beautiful floral dies, really pretty dies, and it should sell for $19.99, and they are marked down to $9.99 for both dies. That's $5 a piece for some beautiful Find It Trading dies. So those are also in Brits Bargains. Be sure you look also in Ashley's bargain bundles, because one of the things that wouldn't go in to, I think it might have been the leaf dies, I stuck them in Ashley's too, because for some reason, even though it's showing in my site that they're in Brits Bargains, they weren't showing, so I put them in Ashley's too. Do you guys have any questions for me before we sign off for the day? Questions, comments, pearls of wisdom? Anything you want to share? We're delighted to share our time with you, Roberta. We appreciate you guys being our crafty friends and our customers. Wouldn't it be a good time to call you about card blanks? Yes. After class? Yeah, I'd love to talk to you about that. Perfect. Okay. If there are any other questions, in the absence of questions, let me say that. In the absence of questions, tell Peggy I got her card. Oh, I will. I didn't know she'd sent them. Excellent. It doesn't surprise me either though, because she's really good about that. Then I'm going to say good night, Gracie. I will send you a newsletter later with links to some of these things we've been talking about. Um, we'll do some extra fun quilling stuff next week. We'll finish our fish cards. You'll learn shells and fish and seaweed. And we'll do baby feet. And I don't know, I'll come up with some more fun things. Till then, I'll see you Wednesday. Good night, Gracie.